and welcome to another tutorial with me. My name is Crafty Jojo, and today I want to show you how I make this beautiful little sleeve to gift ATCs that are artist trading cards in style. So it has a closure, and this is how it opens up, and it has space for up to 6 little artist trading cards, ATCs, and this is how it closes. Oh well, there you go. And you just wind this around and just give it a pull, and that's it. So this is what we're making today, and I'm going to go for a different design. So let me tell you the material list. So you need cardstock. I went for 2 different colors that I like together, but you can obviously choose whatever you like. You need 2 little brads like this, any color. And obviously some designer paper. An A4 sheet of designer paper will be sufficient. You need to be able to cut out 2 circles in different sizes. So I'm using my Stampin' Up! Punches here. So one is 1 inch and one is 3/4 of an inch. You can obviously also use dies or basically freehanded, or use a circumference. And this is what you will need. So you need to cut your main strip, which is 3 inch wide and 11/5/8 of an inch long, which is basically the whole length of a European A4 size. And then you will need to do your 2 circles. So you need 2 1 inch circles and 2 3/4 inch circles in diameter. And they're going to be layered like so. Then you need 1 strip of 6 inch by 3/4 of an inch, which is going to be your handle. And then you need 2 4 inch by 2.5 inch pieces of cardstock, which are going to be called your concertina folds. And I'm going to tell you where and how to score it in a minute. Your designer papers is 2 3/4 of an inch wide for all, and then you need 1 strip that is 3 1/4 of an inch. 2 strips that are 3/4 of an inch, and 1 strip that is 3 3/4 of an inch, and 1 strip that is 2 inches, and they all have the same width, which is 2 3/4. And then you need a 1/2 inch by 4 inch ones, and that is for the cover of your handle. And let's just get started. So I need to show you the scoring, which is very easy because you only score on your long strip. And I have scored on my paper trimmer. You can use your scoreboard or whatever. And the first score line is going to be happening, opala, let me just stay in focus here. At 3.5 inches, you are going to score. Then you just move it over a bit further, 1 inch, so that is 4.5 inch is your next score line. So you start at 3.5, 4.5, next one is 8.5 and 9.5, and that is it. So 8.5, move over, here we go, and 9.5, and that gives you your score lines on your long strip, as you can see here. And the next bit we are going to score is our handle, which is to be scored at 1 inch on either end. So I'm just aligning this here, 1 inch here, and then turn it around, align it to 1 inch mark here, and score it again. And then your concertina folds are being scored every 1/2 inch. So 1/2 inch, 1 inch, now I'm flipping over to 1.5 inch, 2 inches, 2.5, 3, 3.5, and this is what it gives you. And you do this on both. Oops, I just kicked my designer paper. So at 1/2 inch, at 1 inch on this end, and 1.5, 2, 2.5, 3, and 3.5. This is all your scoring done. And this is how we proceed. So first of all, you want to take your cardstock and fold your scoring lines. I am not going to use a bone folder because I don't want the score lines to be too harsh. So this is how your sleeve folds up. This is what it should look like. Okay, there you go. So this side is slightly, this length here is shorter than the back side. Okay, and I'm going to round the corners with my corner punch. I'm probably going for the 7mm, and I'm just going to push this in. And I'm also, so I'm doing the bottom and I'm doing the front flap at 7mm round here. There you go. Oops. What's going wrong here? Hold on. There's some paper stuck. Yes, hold on. Right, I fixed it. I used the 10 millimeters corner to fix my problem here. And we are going to also take our designer paper, and I'm going to round the bottom corners. This is the piece that is going to the front here, so I'm going to round these corners and hopefully not mess it up again, because this is a bit tricky with the way you insert your paper to get it aligned properly. There you go. So this is going to be a perfect fit on here. And with this front piece as well, now this has thrown me off, so I'm not sure if I told you the measurements for your designer paper. I believe so I did. If not, I'm just quickly going to repeat it. So don't forget, it's only 2 corners we are going to round here, because it's only rounded here and it's going to stay straight at the bottom there. So this is my front. Okay, and the back is not going to get rounded corners, and so are these. They are all not going to get rounded corners. So this is the rounding corners done. And now to do the concertina fold, you have scored your pieces, your 2 by 4 inches, every half an inch, and you just do a concertina fold on the score lines backwards and forwards like so. And this is what you end up with. So you want to create 2 of these. Very easy. This is such an easy way, and honestly, when you hand over your cards in a little pouch like this, in a little sleeve, it makes an impression, and it looks so much more like a proper gift. And yes, it's just high-end really. So this is why I like doing this when I participate in ATC swaps. So these are my 2 bits, and before I'm going to use these and glue them down, I just want to glue my designer paper down. So I'm just taking you can use tape and you can use liquid glue, whatever you like. I'm just thinking if I want to actually distress my edges. No, I'm leaving it. It's going to be a neat and clean look, so I'm just not going to do that. So at this point you could go all shabby chic and you could go wild with the way you're decorating this, but for the sake of the tutorial I'm just going to stay sleek and clean. So this is beautiful retro paper from Funky Fossil, and I still have to make the ATCs for this, but this is how this goes. Love the paper. Here we go. So quickly glue down your papers, and then I'm going to show you how you actually put in the concertina folds. Let me just have a look. Yep, and then this strip. So these are easy and quick to make, not complicated. and I just thought I'll show you how to make them, and then you can up your game and make from it whatever you like. So this is my sleeve. This is what it looks like, and this is my handle that gets a strip glued on as well, like so. And you want to place it exactly between your two score marks, because remember, you scored the strip at either end, an inch from either end, because this is going to grip around, and there's a slight overhang here. That's not a problem. So my measurements were a bit off. I'm just finishing it off. So this, if you have your sleeve folded up like this, this is going to go underneath here. And then if you bend this, this is how this is going to sit. Can you see it? And I am going to glue this down already as well. So I start with one side. Try to place it centrally, like so. Get it right between your score marks here. You see? And then, because this is the really nice glue that grips after 3 seconds, I can then go ahead, add some glue here on the other end, and just basically pop that down as well, like so. And then press down, 3 seconds, and the glue is gripping. So this is already coming on nicely. Now, next thing, before I glue in my sides here, I'm going to show you how I actually create my closures. So what you want to do is, you do not glue the two circles on top of each other, but you layer them. No glue involved here. And I'm going to eyeball the center, which I would say is here, and make a mark. Pick it up, and then take my punch, make a hole in the middle, like so. Clop, there you go, there's a hole. Then I'm going to feed my brad through it and just bend it loosely, because you want to allow a bit of space in between the two layers, because this is where you have to slide in your what is it called? I can't remember what it's called. It's not ribbon, it's, what is it? Tweed? No idea. Anyway, so you make 2 of these and glue them down before you assemble the sides. So again, layering them, eyeballing the center, pick it up, try to keep it centered, sorry, punch it, and add the brad. Right. In order to install it, you add some glue. I'm using wet glue here, and I'm eyeballing it. This is my front flap, the lid, the top, and I'm just going to press it down. And this is why I do it before I actually assemble my side bits, because I need to apply some pressure because of the metal bits, and it's just easier like that. And then I'm just going to use my bone folder, slide that underneath, and just rub it as good as I can to get it in place. There you go, like so. Okay. And then obviously you want the second one sitting below, but roughly. So what helps is I like to use these paper clips to keep it in position, so I can eyeball my correct position. So I'm going to add glue, drop it, and now I have, because that's why I like to use wet glue, I have wiggle room That's what I call it. And once I found the position where this seems to be aligned well enough, I can just remove my clip, lay this flat on my table and apply the pressure I need to get this to sit in the right position and adhere properly. Bone folder action, like so. There you go. I didn't have a brad in this exact orange nor in any of the greens, so I decided this is still good enough. So this is what it's going to look like. This is what you have at this point. And now it's time to assemble these. Now if you look at your concertina fold, you want these ends to be pointing inwards. So I don't want to glue this in pointing outwards. So you want this pointing inwards. And because this is going to sit, this is my lid, this is the bottom, so they are going to sit here, and that's why I said you want this bit to point inwards. So wet glue, like so. Glue it down, fold it flat, make sure it doesn't pop out, like so. You want to align it here, like so, and there's space here, that's correct, like so. So this is the first side. The second side is the other way around. So again, glue. I'm folding it, I'm aiming, and then I align it, because my glue gives me a few seconds wiggle time, which I'm going to make use of before it actually grips, and then it's set in place. So here you go, perfect alignment there. And I'm just holding it down. So this is what we have at this point. And now I'm going to add the glue to only one side. And then when I fold this down, I need to aim. I actually have forgotten something. We also need to cut the inserts. I haven't given you the measurements of the inserts yet because I have forgotten about them. So I'm going to lay this flat and use my bone folder. You can't see this on the camera, but I'm just pressing it down. Because of this, I cannot squeeze it flat. You can see this problem here because of this. So in order to make sure that this adheres well, I just use my bone folder, basically sliding it in from the inside and then pressing it down in this corner here, pressing it down as good as I can as it lies flat. And then I just do the same on the other side. Here we go, pull in, and then bring this in. Whatever oozes out, I've just picked this up here on my thumb, I just rub it on my skin. This glue is water based, so it's not a problem if you have it on your skin. And then my wiggle time allows me to align this just to the perfect position that I need it in. Oh dear. Oh. Now, this was already gripping and I just so managed because I saw that this wasn't aligned perfectly. So here we go, that's it. So this is what we have at this point in time. The concertina folds are in. And we now need the inserts and I need to cut those. Right, so I forgot these inserts. They are basically going to slide in here, and in order for them to slide in like so, and I'm going to show you how I glue this in place, they need to be slightly shy of 3 inches width. So it's basically 2 15/16 of an inch in width, and because this is 2.5, I went for 2 1/4 in height, and I'm just going to add a little, oops, a little bit of wet glue, which is difficult to apply, like so, on both sides, and then slide it in to glue it in place. So there's glue on both sides, and I slide it into this slot, and then I'll just press this, hold this together basically. So I apply slight pressure here. You can see it bends a bit when I'm applying the pressure. Can you see? So that the glue that I put on the edges is going to sit right inside that concertina fold, and that A holds in your concertina fold, so it's not going to come outwards, and B, it allows for 2 ATCs to be slotted into each slot. Okay, so this should be glued in now, and the second one the same. So a tiny wee bit of glue spread on here. You don't want it, you don't need a lot, it's just to get this to adhere to the concertina fold. It's not going to hold any weight, so it doesn't matter if it's not everywhere. And then I'm sliding this in from above, ta 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 ta. If this happens, you just take it off, rub it on your skin, and then I'm just going to give this a slight, ever so slight press, so that this gets a chance to adhere to my concertina fold. And this is what this looks, and we're almost done because this is already it. So this is just the closure left to do. So we're going to take some twine, and I'm just eyeballing it. What I'm going to do, I'm not sure about the color for this one because I don't have this orange. I don't have, my alternative colors were blue and a light green, dark blue or light green. I don't want to bring in another color. So what you do is basically you bring your twine around here like so, and all you do is you make one knot, not a double knot, just one knot that you try to, let me just lift this, there you go, so it slides underneath, and that has pulled up the brad a little bit. And then I'm just going to see that I can just cut it there. Okay, so, and I'm just going to push this end in, right, and then you have to train the paper. So I'm pulling here, I'm pulling there, I'm pulling here, there you go, oops, pulling there. This is actually slightly too long because it doesn't go, if it starts folding up like this, you want to stop. So I'm just going to leave it here and cut it off. Or maybe here, one more round down here, and that's it. And then just cut the loose end, and I use a little bit of wet glue to secure the loose end so it doesn't unravel. I just rub the wet glue on it, let it dry, and this actually keeps the end. See, this is what I've done. That's it. So this just keeps the end, and this is basically your sleeve for your ATCs, to gift your ATCs done. This is the closure, this is how it undoes. So, and it pops open and it beautifully presents your ATCs. And that was that for today. So I hope you enjoyed this little tutorial and are able to recreate your own. And thank you very much for watching, and happy crafting everyone. Thank you. Bye bye.